My pregnant ex wants me back. Do I tell her boyfriend? I, 29, started seeing a girl at 34th early 2019. Everything was going well and we were seeing each other fairly regularly until about 10 months in when she confessed she technically had a boyfriend, 27 was, who she had been living with for a few years. She explained to me that they were pretty much broken up and it was more of a roommate situation until their lease ran out and she was going to leave him properly and get out. She kept telling me how he was mentally abusive to her and super codependent, and she was miserable and felt trapped. She was just waiting out the lease on their apartment. I was angry that she hadn't told me earlier, but I understood why it was something awkward to bring up and explain to her that I wasn't comfortable with the situation, but we had a great relationship and a deep connection, and if she was serious about leaving him, we could figure something out. She told me that he was very aware she was leaving him and he didn't care about who she was seeing or anything like that. And if I'm being honest, I was so infatuated with this woman. I felt no reason to question it. I just believed her. So we continued our relationship, and the date the lease ran out got closer and closer and closer, and she was making zero effort to move out. She would mention it occasionally, but with no real plan of action, so I started getting suspicious. She told me he was being manipulative and saying that if she moved out, his life would be ruined and he wouldn't be able to afford his bills and may hurt himself. She said that although she didn't want to be around him, she didn't want to add any more stress or pain to his life, and she felt she had a duty of care to him, so they ended up renewing their lease. So given that I don't want to be labeled as a homewrecker, I meet up with her and explain how she's made me feel completely used and like she doesn't care about me or our relationship. Unsurprising, all things considered, and she basically responded by love bombing me. She was telling me I was her soulmate and that one day she was going to marry me. She just doesn't have the heart to hurt him and cause him more stress, but she would get out when he was more stable and we would be together, and a load of other complete crap. As previously stated, up to this point, I was under the impression that he knew she was seeing someone and was planning on leaving him. I then found out from a mutual friend that was a total lie. He still thought she was his girlfriend, and even though their relationship was rocky, he had no idea she was planning on leaving, and even less idea she was seeing anyone else. I was absolutely furious when I heard this, like properly hit the roof and cut everything off entirely. I told her I knew she had been lying to both of us and not to contact me again. I stopped responding to her messages. I thought this would be the end of it, and I started moving on with my life. Fast forward to about 3 months ago. I walk into a cafe, and there she is, sitting alone in a corner. I get my coffee and sit down far away from her. Clearly, I didn't sit far enough away because she walks over and asks if she can sit down. I say yes, and we have a bit of a catch-up chat. She apologizes for everything that happened and throws in a bit of guilt-tripping and a woe is me story of how bad their relationship was, but I hear her out mainly just for my own closure's sake. So I get home and do a bit of snooping on Facebook. I see they're still together, still living together, and she's pregnant. By this point, I'm just relieved I dodged a bullet and I'm not a part of their toxic situation anymore. So then last week she messages me, she tells me she's not stopped thinking about me since she saw me. Letting me go was the biggest mistake of her life, and she wants me back. She starts going on about how seeing me brought back all the memories and reminded her of how happy we were. She also tells me she still believes we are soulmates. She finishes her overdramatic wall of text by saying she has finally got her life sorted out and is single. She then asks me if I would be willing to give her another chance. I don't mention that I've seen they're still together or any of that stuff. I just reply saying it was good to see her, but I've moved on. Now here's the bit I really want advice on. I've been thinking about this for a few days now, and I just don't know if I should tell him. I have no idea how much of this man's mental state she was being honest about, or if he really was mentally abusing her, but I know from mutual friends that he would probably react very badly, and probably violently, if he knew what she had done. Part of me wants to just draw a line under it and do nothing, but I keep thinking if I was in that situation and had been living with a woman for like 5 years, I would want to know if she was trying to start an affair and calling some other man her soulmate. Should I tell him? If I do tell him, is there a way of breaking it to him softly? I just really need some advice on how I approach this. Side note, I also realize I really should have told him after they renewed the lease on their apartment, but given what she was saying about his mental state and threatening to hurt himself, I didn't want to exacerbate anything. I just wanted to move on. Redditors' reactions. Update after Redditor 1, you should definitely tell him. As you said, You'd want to know too, and no man deserves to be lied to and possibly marry a girl that's been cheating on him since forever. I'm sure he'd want to know who the mother of his child really is so he can take the steps he needs. You could send him this post and some screenshots anonymously so there is no possibility that he might take his anger out on you, since some men like to blame the other man instead of their woman who's supposed to be faithful. Disclaimer: English is not my first language. Please excuse any first language. Please excuse any spelling errors. Answer: yeah, that's my main fear. I know I'm not innocent in this, but I don't want him to be able to trace anything back to me and take his anger out on me. He really does have a right to know, though. And your English is perfect. Redditor 2. Show him the same compassion and respect that you'd want to be shown in the same situation. And next time, don't get involved with someone who technically has a boyfriend who they're pretty much broken up with. Answer: thank you for your advice. I will try to remain respectful and compassionate and not let my anger for her impact the way I approach it. I learned this one the hard way. I'm also never taking anything at face value ever again. Redditor 3. For the love of God, yes. Why would you let her sit down with you for coffee after such a long con? You realize you're the other man, right? And her current Beth is probably a very nice and completely blind to her actions person? Just stop. Yes, tell him everything. Answer: to be honest, I only let her sit down because I didn't want to cause a scene, and it's been over a year since our last conversation. I think on some level I just really wanted an apology, which I didn't get, just more manipulation and lies. I am aware I was the other man, and it absolutely kills me inside that I had that role. Believe me, this isn't a situation I ever wanted to be in. Edit: pandemic has screwed my concept of time. It's been at least 2 years. Updated: my ex wants me back. Should I tell her current partner? Edit: I posted some further info to my profile explaining why I didn't go straight to him and answering some questions that keep coming up in the comments. I posted a few weeks ago about how my manipulative, gaslighting, waste of oxygen ex-34th was trying to get me 29th back, even though her partner 27 when he's currently with her. I just wanted to give you all an update of what happened next. My original post didn't get many replies, but I want to just thank those who did reply, as it really gave me some things to think about and some great ideas of how to approach the situation, so thank you all. I told her that I have chat logs of all our previous conversations going back 3-4 years or however long it's been now since she came into my life. I said I have all the conversations where she had told me she was leaving him, the conversations where she had lied and said he knew she was seeing someone, all the chats where she had tried to manipulate me into staying with her, messages where she had told me she loved me and couldn't stand him, and couldn't wait for their tenancy to run out so she could leave, and even her trying to reach out a few weeks ago and me saying I had moved on. I made her aware I had all of it, and would be forwarding it to him because he has a right to know what sort of woman he is having a child with. She practically begged me not to and told me he wasn't mentally stable enough to deal with this right now. Again, with her blaming his mental stability when things aren't going her way low. In the end, she blocked me on WhatsApp, so I decided to leave it and didn't message him, I assumed wrongly. She would just take this as a warning and do better. And then he messaged me on Facebook. He sent me a message accusing me of trying to ruin his relationship and start an affair with his best friend and soulmate. I don't know exactly what she had said to him about me, but I didn't want to be painted as the bad guy in this, so I decided to just go nuclear and sent him literally everything, and an apology to go with it. I told him that I had been seeing her before the pandemic and was under the impression they were separated, and he knew everything. I also deleted her number from my phone, so in the screenshots I sent it showed her phone number so he would clearly know it was her who had sent the messages, and she wouldn't be able to easily gaslight him into believing she was innocent. I calmly advised him to read everything, then he could make his own choices. I blocked him and her on Facebook and blocked her on WhatsApp too, and deactivated my Facebook account just in case anyone else tried to involve themselves. So that's it. I have no idea what the fallout has been. I'm keeping my account deactivated for a good few weeks and I want nothing further to do with this. Fingers crossed for him and the baby he will realize she is pathetic and leave her to be miserable and lonely. I wanted to do this in a way that would cause him as little stress as possible. But either way, what's done is done, and he knows everything now. Redditors, reactions. Redditor 1, wow, that girl is a moron. She could not deal with your rejection, tried to make you the bad guy, and punched herself in the face while doing it. How can someone be that ducking stupid? You told her you still had everything. Hope, answer. I know. Truly astonishing, isn't it? I genuinely think she is so wrapped up in her own lies she has no idea what's real anymore as long as she's getting her own way. I'm just glad she's not my problem. Redditor 2. You did the right thing. Hope, answer. Thank you for the reassurance. I'm genuinely scared of this coming back on me in some way. But as long as I've got them both blocked, it shouldn't do. Fingers crossed. Redditor 3. Fie, this is why you never warned the cheater about coming clean. They'll flip it around and this poor guy might get manipulated into believing her. You've already said she is a gaslighting, manipulating waste of oxygen, and she's pregnant with his kid. He's going to want to believe her so badly even though he knows deep down that you're right, so he might convince himself for the baby's sake to believe her lies. I'm glad you told him, but you shouldn't have told her you were thinking of telling him and just told him. He'd be more likely to leave her like he should. Redditor follow-up. For real. When my ex cheated on me and the other guy found out about me, I think he threatened her with sending me screenshots of their conversations, because out of the blue, she sent me frantic messages telling me to block him, spinning some stupid story, so I did block him, and it's something that I regretted so much as I could have saved myself from a lot of hurt from then on. At least it's all in the past now.